Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about traveling, and in particular, traveling to Paris, France. It is such a beautiful city. It is such a very, very vibrant experience, and I recommend everyone to do it at least once in their lifetime because it is possible and it is completely affordable. Now, I recommend going with a traveling company because they are so organized and it is very, very fluid because you don't have to worry about anything. You just pay the money and everything's taken care of. I personally use City of Lights Travel. Their link is in the description below. It is ran by Gilbert Lanatois, and it is a very reputable company to travel with. It is reputable because you get to see so much of the city. Whereas if you go by yourself, you may be able to do one or two activities that you really dreamed of, and then you're kind of just sitting around wasting time. Maybe staying in the hotel room. Maybe you're just on your phone. Maybe you're just waiting in lines. If you go with this company, you get to see so much because you do have group access. You go to the front of the line of all the museums, all the major attractions. You go to the Louvre, you go to Versailles, you go to Disneyland Paris. You get to see all of these great, amazing things, and you don't have to wait in line for them, which is what most tourists do. They end up spending half of their time just waiting in line for these tours. Also, on that note, it is geared more towards a younger audience because you are going to be doing a lot of walking and a lot of sightseeing as well as staying in a hostel, but don't worry about that because you're not really going to be in the room. You don't have a big jacuzzi, you don't have a big plasma screen TV to just sit in there and want to just hang out. It is a very small room, but it gets the job done. You're only really there to sleep, change, leave your things, and go out and see the city because why would you want to stay in your room in a very, very beautiful city like Paris, France? As I was saying as well, you do get to afford this trip. It is completely affordable and completely possible. If you put away $50 to $100 every paycheck, you'll be able to afford this trip in no time. Maybe a year and a half, and you'll be able to see beautiful Paris, France at night. Now, this may require a little bit of discipline, whether that be having to pick up an extra shift when you don't really want to, staying an extra hour or two if your manager asks you to, or maybe not going out to eat as much. Maybe you just cut out 1 or 2 meals a day and you just end up cooking those days, then you'll be able to afford this trip no problem, but you get to see something that not a lot of people get to see in their lifetime, or they'll always end up regretting that they never got to see. As I was saying, I'm planning my own trip to Europe this summer, and it is a completely different experience. It is so much more difficult because you have to worry about the minor things that you never thought you have to worry about, especially at a young age traveling. You have to think about where you stay, where you sleep, what you really want to do there, how much money to bring, where to go, Ubers, taxis. You have to worry about all of those things versus when you're a kid and you go with your family or you go with your parents, you don't have to worry about anything. They end up taking care of it. If a hotel room gets overbooked, so what? They'll figure it out. They'll deal with it. Now you have to figure that out, and that is one of the hardest things I think traveling at a young age is that you just have to get over that factor of just really putting yourself out there. Yes, you're going to make mistakes, but just get ready to face them. I personally believe that planning this trip, I have been planning it for over a year now, and I believe that me planning it personally has helped me grow and mature because I'm talking to people halfway across the world talking about Airbnb days, what they can do, what they accommodate for. I've been talking to them and they don't even speak my language. You're using Airbnb Translate. So it is a whole different experience. And like I said, if you're going to Europe for the first time, I recommend going with a traveling company, in particular, City of Lights Travel, like I mentioned before, because it is just, you don't have to worry about anything. It's all taken care of, and it's just a wonderful experience. And if you are going back a second or third time, maybe you want to do your own thing. So one piece of advice that I could give you is start traveling and start planning it as early as possible. You do not want to wait till the last minute because airfare will spike up, especially in the summer months when a lot of people travel, because it is the peak season, it is the high season, so a lot of people want to go. So one piece of advice, book everything as early as possible. Airbnbs, what you want to see, what you want to do, especially your flights, because it is so expensive. On that note as well, try flying in particular to a smaller city in Europe because it is cheaper to connect flights over there. Smaller airlines over there will fly you into major cities for little to nothing versus flying in directly from LAX to a big major city such as Paris, Rome, Venice, somewhere like that. You are going to be spending that much more money because it is a direct flight and they're going to have to use all of that fuel versus you stopping somewhere and connecting. So that's all I have for today's video. I hope you found it a little informative. If you have any questions about traveling, especially at a relatively young age in your early 20s, feel free to ask in the comments below. And I hope you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know what you guys think for the future videos. Thank you.